What's up? It's your boy Fanon. Try to follow up at the end of this bout. Hopefully, we can get a couple people in the live streams. I'm sure there's other ones going on. So if you can join, be much appreciated. What's happening? I see you got a couple people in the house. Let me know who's in there. That was an interesting fight to watch, man. That was an interesting fight. Yeah, Ronald Finkel. Yeah, man. That dude, dang, I thought that dude almost died up in there, man. What's good, Cecil Robinson? Yeah, Ronald Finkel. You were definitely first in this mug, man. Say, hey, tell me what y'all think. Hit the like button as you guys come in. Tell me what you think about the fights. Yo, what's good, Real Amon? Yeah, we back at it, man. Let me know what you guys think, because I was going to do a video. Oh, how you feel about the fight? Dog, I don't, you ever like criticize somebody so much in a day that you don't feel like criticizing anymore? It's like I just want to make sure that I'm open-minded about it, dog. Wilder will kill Whyte. Yeah, we kill it. He whooped his ass. Yeah, he did, dog. Bum bash. Yeah, hey, what's good? Boxing Clinic and more, man. You got some time? Jump on, man. Yeah, dog. That shit looked like I honestly started making a video. Like, this is how bad it was, man. I made it around, God, maybe it was the round beforehand. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take some pictures. I'm gonna start my video now because I'm like, this fight is over. Dillian Whyte, I mean, dude just looked like he didn't even belong in the ring, man. I mean, dude was just garbage, man. Garbage. Yeah, that's what's up. All right, Bison Clinic. Yeah, I'll throw it in where we can wrap it up. Uh yeah, let me hit you with it real quick. Oh man, Mr. Blick had. I might hit Mr. Blick too. Oh, you know what? I think I've sent you this before, so let me do this. Let me cancel out. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I'm gonna get you on right now. CJ, give me a second, man. We can do a wrap on this. I gotta close out this thing. And then let me blood. Yeah, blood. I got you, dog. I'm gonna send blood, CJ. All right, that's what's up. This is cool, man. I like this shit. All right, let me see. Okay, let me see. CJ. Damn, CJ. Let me hit you with blood. I'm gonna hit blood. Got you. All right. I got blood. I got Dr. Blick. Send that to Dr. Blick. Now I'm gonna send this to damn CJ, man. What's your number? What's your email, man? Bison Clinic. Hit me with your email real quick, man. I just hit up blood and I hit up Dr. Blick. Let me know what your email is, CJ, because I'm having a hard time finding it right off the cut. Actually, you know what? I can probably do this better. This is it. The Boxing Clinic. We're gonna type Boxing Clinic. Oh yeah, this is the Boxing Clinic right here. All right, cool. All right, I got you. Yeah, man, I want to sit back and listen to what you guys got to say. Yeah, hey, hit the like button when you coming in, man. We got blood in the Boxing Clinic. This shit's gonna be lit. Yeah, got you. All right, CJ, I just sent it to you, man. Let me know when y'all get in here, man. That's what's up. I'm sharing this lit stream. Oh yeah, man, we got coming. Yeah, I got you right now, Bison Clinic. I got you, blood. And then I would say Corey Lee's on another one. I was gonna invite dude, but he's got his shit on something else. Yeah, I got you, man. Let me know what y'all think. Man, honestly, man, I'm this is awesome, man, because we got two of the best cats. Wilder will destroy Dillian Whyte. That's the Bivol champ. Actually, I need to hit this shit so when he's ooh. All right. Hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button. That's what's up. Hit my email. I just did Blood Boxing Returns. Let me do it again.
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, we got CJ in the house. Hold on a second. CJ?
Yeah, what's going on?
Chilling, man. All right, I just sent it to you again, blood. Hey, so what you think about the fight, CJ? It's your stage, man. Anybody, if y'all don't know about the boxing clinic and more, this young man made me stop doing breakdowns, man, because this shit is just so on fire. If y'all have not subscribed to the boxing clinic and more, subscribe to the boxing clinic and more. You damn near ain't got to get a feed for boxing news fucking with my man right here. He's on this shit all day and night. So tell me what you think about it, man.
I was watching it, and it got so bad. I stopped watching and started recording. But I came back and he knocked him out, and I seen the knockout, and people acting like it was so sensational. I'm like, it was. I mean, my man's had one eye, so I'm like, he was just so limited, like limited. Like I have never seen him fight before. I know he got popped for performance enhancing drugs, but they should just give him a pass because he ain't got no skill. He was slow. He was telegraphing every shot. I mean, no head movement. I was watching the Sky telecast, but I heard some things about the HBO that I get on in a minute. But I will say this: Whyte did look better physically than the last fights I've seen ever since the Joshua injury. You know, since he got knocked out and injured his shoulder, because with Dillian Whyte, he had a lot of promise before he fought Anthony Joshua. He beat Joshua in the amateurs, and he had some positive things going on. You know, when he before he was fighting Joshua, and he looked good. He had his moments, like Carl Frost said, versus Joshua. But ever since then, he just ain't looked good. You know, I don't know if it was the injury or it was the battering that he took from Joshua. But the last fights, like the one versus the Robert guy, he looked terrible. You know, the fight that he fought was it Michael? No, it wasn't Michael Grant. It was
Malcolm
another guy.
Tan.
Yeah, Malcolm Ten, because Grant was supposed to be the opponent because they were supposed to be ready to size up for they were supposed to size up for Deontay Wilder. They wanted to fight a tall orthodox fighter, but they end up cutting that off, and then they brought the Ten guy in. And you know, physically he looked like he looked like the shit emoji. He looked fat and sloppy and out of shape. I mean, like he like dude, they said he was training all hard on Instagram. He came here looking fat and out of shape, and this stuff like he looked a little bit more tighter. He looked quicker. He looked faster. But maybe it. Of course, you can look fast when everything around you is in slow motion. Lucas Brown was the slow motion. I think the referee was more athletic than Lucas Brown today. He just he just looked like a big pile of vanilla ice cream with tattoos on it that like I had never seen nobody that bad. I mean, how can you license a guy like that? I mean that's like taking me and put me in the ring with Dillian Whyte. It proved nothing. Dillian Whyte landed some good body shots. You know, 6 round was the 6th round. He knocked him out. The knockout wasn't a knockout of the year candidate by any means of the imagination, but he did what he got to do, and I was impressed by what Dylan White was able to do, but not really when you look at Lucas Brown, what he brought to the table. And I heard HBO was like already selling a Deontay Wilder fight. How can you sell a fight like that? But you know why they able to sell a Deontay Wilder fight on HBO? It's a simple fact that Anthony Joshua is going to sign with HBO unless he takes that Dana White $500 million deal, which he says he's loyal to Eddie Hearn. I did a video about the loyalty to Eddie Hearn or loyalty to people in sports. It's never a loyalty. You get the money and worry about the loyalty on the back half because if somebody offers you a guaranteed $500 million, you take it. I mean, no stretch of the imagination. You take that money and you run with it. But if he's stupid enough to be loyal to Eddie Hearn, and they're gonna sign him to HBO. This fight is on Showtime because he's on a fight by fight basis, but HBO is gonna give him a deal. Thus, how Jarrell Miller got a deal. Thus, how Danny Jacobs got a deal through Matchroom USA. Thus, Dylan White is going to get a deal with Matchroom USA. That's just how it's gonna happen. At least a one fight deal to fight Deontay Wilder, or he's gonna be the backup plan to Anthony Joshua if they can't get Wilder in the ring or they can't get this guy in the ring. But I think HBO to end on this. I think HBO was thrown into this equation for the simple fact to make Wilder and Joshua not happen over networks now. Now he has to pick and choose between networks. Now he throws a monkey wrench. Eddie Hearn like, all right, you know what? All right, we said 2020, we said 2019, Wilder Joshua. You know what? To buy some more time and people want to see it now. Let's throw this monkey wrench and take Anthony Joshua over to HBO. And it's as simple as that. They gonna keep putting hurdles in front of Joshua, in front of Wilder. And what they want to do, actually, is take Wilder over to the UK. Watch what I tell you with these negotiations. If the WBC mandates that Dylan White fight Wilder, watch Eddie Hearn throw as much money as he wants to, win that purse bid, pay Deontay the 70-85% of the purse, but bring him to the UK and try to pull a Malik Scott and Derek Chisora thing over there. they're trying to set Deontay Wilder up, and I see that clearly now. But y'all can go ahead.
Hey man, we got a couple people. We got Dr. Blick and Blood Boxing in the house. Hey Blood, let me know what you think about the fight, man. We're gonna move to Dr. Blick, who's from the UK. Go ahead, Blood.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to tell everybody that I told everyone that Dillian Whyte was going to steamroll Lucas Brown because Lucas Brown was an overrated fighter. He's crappy. He's an old man. He's almost 40 years old. He came in the ring all fat looking. He's never been that good of a boxer anyway. He looked like a blimp in there against James Toney. And I'm looking at the WBC right now. I'm looking at their ratings. And at this time, he has not done enough to get a shot against our champion. Lucas Brown was ranked number 13, okay? What about all the guys who's ranked ahead of him? Dominic Brazil feels that he deserves a fight too. So let's do what they did back in the old days and let's have an elimination bout like the WBC did with Jimmy Young and Ken Norton back in 78. Let's have an elimination bout. This would actually be a real bona fide elimination bout. I mean, he doesn't deserve a shot because he beat some old fat man, and now people want to get out here talking all crazy and shit. You know, he don't deserve it. He don't deserve a shot. He needs to fight somebody like Brazil. I mean, he did his thing, man. I'm not hating on him, but the guy was old and fat and wasn't throwing no punches. At times, Lucas Brown, first of all, he never even used the high guard. He came in there with his hands down the whole time, all slow. And there was several times that Whyte should have taken him out before then. At certain times, he dropped his hands after they clinched and left himself wide open. He did that against Deontay Wilder. It would have been lights out first and second round. So, I mean, get out of here with that shit, man. He got to do something to get a fight against my champ, Deontay Wilder. Bomb squad.
Dr. Blick, what's your opinion on that, man?
The knockout was brutal. That knockout was brutal. But like, when it comes to Dillian Whyte, I feel like Eddie Hearn has been whispering in his ear to push him to want to fight Deontay Wilder in August. Have you noticed how he said August? Because they know that that's going to be most likely the next time that Deontay Wilder is going to fight next. Dillian Whyte did his thing. He did what he's meant to do. He beat up an old man who was chinny. If you look at his record, he's been dropped by virtually nobody's. He's been making it through, but he's been dropped by virtually nobody's. And a lot of people were talking about his chin not being up to par. And obviously on Showcase, his chin wasn't up to par. Like he looked bad. He looked sloppy, fat, slow, sluggish. I heard Dillian Whyte saying that Wilder's fighting half-assed people. Like, who is he fighting? Like, who is he fighting for him to say that Wilder's fighting half-assed people when he's fighting people like Derek Chisora, who he arguably lost to, and people like Lucas Brown and other people that nobody's even heard of, like Robert Helenius as well, who got knocked out by Duhaupas, who Wilder knocked out. So I don't think he should want to fight Wilder because Wilder is a different type of animal. He's too fast. He's too big. He's too strong. He's just the wrong style matchup for Dillian Whyte. He should fight Brazil. He should fight Brazil next. They should do a eliminator because for some reason Dominic Brazil keeps saying that he's the mandatory when clearly he's not. But yeah, Dillian Whyte did his job. He did what he had to do. But I don't think Wilder should fight him next. We all know what fight should happen next. But yeah, that's what I think on it, though.
Hey, that's what's up, man. I appreciate that, man. Look, hey, the truth. Shout out to the truth in the super chat. The truth. I just sent you a link. I don't know what was going on with my connection. Actually, I got somebody. Is this you, the truth? I think the truth just jumped on.
Hello. Yeah,
the truth.
That's me. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I sent that to you, man. It's nice to be able to speak to somebody in the super chat who just sent a super chat. Hey, let me know what you think about that fight, man. And after that, blood boxing, man. I gotta understand what you were talking about as far as what you think your stance on Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder is. Right after that, I'm gonna get back to that after the truth. What do you think about the fight, the truth?
He beat a 38-year-old, 18 stone, 11-pound potato. It was, I mean, he did show improvements, and it was an improvement on the Helenius fight that he had. But against a real live heavyweight of the caliber of Deontay Wilder, it's not going to end up like it did tonight. I'm not impressed, and I don't think that it should be the next fight. Everybody knows what the next fight should be. It should be AJ versus Deontay Wilder. But with Eddie Hearn and his dwindling stable, I think that he's going to try and avoid that as much as possible. He already said to TalkSport Radio that he wants the Wilder versus Whyte fight in June, and he's gonna do everything possible to try and avoid that matchup between Joshua versus Wilder. And I think one of the main reasons of that is that Anthony Joshua is the only cash cow that he has left in his stable. I mean, in terms of big stars, even Billy Joe Saunders was mocking him for it as well, saying that if any of you British fighters want to get paid, come to Box Nation and Frank Warren. So I don't see that fight happening anytime soon, and I'm really angry about it.
All right, hey man, I appreciate that, man. My take on it is that dude looked like a dead man walking from the middle of the first round. I mean, like I said, I just went on ahead and started doing my video beforehand. I was like, this shit ain't getting out of here. Dude cut after about 3 punches in the eye. And Mr. Boxing Today, what's good, my man? Let me jump off what I said for a real heavyweight dude. Mr. Boxing Today, and let me know if I can send you a link, Mr. Boxing Today. Some of these heavyweights need to stop talking about each other's competition level. They beating up the same cats. The very top guys need to fight each other, especially the undefeated guys. That's Mr. Boxing Today 2. And if you guys don't know about Mr. Boxing Today 2, I'm telling you, that dude is the most thorough channel on heavyweight boxing on YouTube. No doubt about it. So, hey, Mr. Boxing, let me know if you want to jump in on this conversation, man. I'd be honored if you would. But I want to go to Blood Boxing because he did a live stream earlier today when he talked about like what the approach that he thought that Deontay Wilder should take in order to get the Anthony Joshua fight. Or I'll let him explain what his take was, because so many people got on my channel talking about it that I want you to clarify. And then after that, I'll go through the panel and get their thoughts on what Blood's position is. Blood?
Okay, look, if I walked out my door right now, nobody would know who Anthony Joshua is, okay? And not much people will know who Deontay Wilder is either. Right now, neither one of these guys are really known over here. What I'm saying is that we need to stop pushing this card that what Wilder needs to do to get an Anthony Joshua fight. Because when Larry Holmes had the same belt, the WBC belt in 1980, he was in a pretty similar situation to what Wilder is in right now, okay? Larry Holmes didn't give these other guys credit as the top guy, okay? He wasn't going around saying Big John Tate was the champ, even though Big John Tate had just fought in front of 80,000 people in South Africa. Larry Holmes said, I'm the best. And right now, neither one of these guys are known. So as Americans, I was just saying, as American fight fans, we need to start pressing our guy, Deontay Wilder, and pushing him as an A-side fighter, because he's the one who's closest to all the legacy achievements. When it comes down to it, these guys fought the same type of guys. Just like Mr. Boxing Today 2 said. I showed it on my Hangout. I went into their resumes. I showed you that these guys are fighting the same caliber opponents, okay? So all this bum killer and all of that stuff, if it applies to Wilder, it applies to Joshua too. They fought the same caliber opponents. The only difference is that Wilder has legacy that he could look forward to because he's 40-0. Not 20-0. And when I pulled up, I showed everybody the records. Wilder is already in the top 20 in several of those categories. He needs to focus on his legacy and go towards 49-0. And all these people need to stop with this bullshit about, well, he needs what does he need to do to get a fight against Anthony Joshua? Who the fuck is Anthony Joshua? What did he do? What did he do that he did not end the Klitschko era? Tyson Fury ended the Klitschko era. He got all the scraps. We all know what happened. If you have two guys who's champion, both undefeated, just like John Tate and Larry Holmes was in 1980. Larry Holmes wasn't going to sit around and say, well, what am I going to have to do to get a fight against John Tate? And we got to cut that shit out. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't go in on ass juice. Go in on ass juice, I think everybody should. But this presenting him as the top guy, as the A-side guy, why? Because he sold out in England? Nobody knows him here. He will not be big here unless we build him. We have to build our champ, Deontay Wilder. This guy is being a coward. He don't want to get in the ring with him. He wants him to stop talking trash or else he's going to freeze him out. No, we freeze out Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua needs the American market. You did not hear people over here in America bigging up, what's his name, the Kazuya when he fought Big John Tate just because 80,000 was coming to see him, So we have to take that same approach. We have to build our champ. Anthony Joshua will only get big here if we make him big here. And if we keep presenting him as some A-side type guy that Deontay Wilder has to fight, people are going to fall for that shit. Right now, nobody knows him. So let's cut it out before it starts to get to the casuals and they start thinking that this guy did something more than Wilder. Wilder is closer to all legacy achievements. Okay? That's all I'm saying. That's it. Can y'all hear me?
Hey, hello?
Yeah.
Blood. Yeah. Hell yeah, I heard you, man. You lighting that shit off. General Africa's in the house. So,
what's going on?
Hey, let me know what you're talking about. What your thoughts on that are, General Africa. And then I'll go down the panel. I also sent an invite to Mr. Boxing today, and 78. Hopefully he'll attend because I definitely didn't want to leave 78 out of it. If he'd be welcome on more than welcome to get in on this. If he winds up,
man.
But what's your thoughts on that, General Africa?
Well, first off, thanks for having me on, brother, man. Love the channel, man. But yeah, man, everything Blood said, I totally agree with, man. My first reaction after hearing, I don't know if you probably saw it, Hearn in the post fight interview, he admitted that that basically have a date open in June, and that if basically they're going to force Dillian Whyte on Wilder, which at first I was like, more obstacles, but I'm at the point now where it's like, you know what, just fight these guys. It's not like they haven't pushed somebody on us before. Deontay Wilder, when Joshua didn't want to fight Ortiz and they kicked him out the WBA rankings, Wilder fought him, and it's the same thing with this. That's fine. We'll take Whyte. I just, I'm tired of talking about, what, it's a new story every day with Hearn when it comes to Joshua and this fight. And it's pretty obvious to me and a lot of other people that they're not going to fight anytime soon. I mean, I just saw an article today that said that Hearn said that Joshua was planning on fighting Whyte next. And he reiterated that today. He said either that Joshua or he's going to fight Deontay Wilder, and he's basically going to he's going to force Dillian Whyte into that #1 contender spot. There's not going to be an eliminator. I'd be very surprised if Dillian Whyte had to fight Brazil. And I'm not against Whyte getting a shot at Deontay, man. I'm not. I like Whyte. He's willing to fight anybody. I don't think he's afraid of Deontay Wilder. I don't think he's afraid of Joshua. I think he wants to fight the best. My thing is, like I said, I agree with Blood. I'm done talking about AJ and this and that. Wilder is much closer to legacy than AJ is. He's close to, a couple fights he'll be at 50-0, and he'll get his defenses up. There's a lot of legacy discussion and a lot of legacy achievements coming up with Wilder, and I just want to push him towards that. I want to see Wilder fighting, 2 times, 3 times a year. Now I don't know if Blood said it on this live stream, but he said it multiple times before that I think Larry Holmes had 3 defenses. It was something like that, right, Blood? 3 defenses within the first
4,
right?
Yeah.
So let's right. So that's what I'm pushing for. I'm sick and tired of Fast Eddie. He basically openly admitted to everybody that he's gonna use his power to put White into that mandatory position and is not going to be an eliminator, that's fine. It is what it is. I saw guys cheering it on. Yeah, Wilder's going to duck White. Yeah, okay, in your dreams. But I mean, in regards to the fight though, Dillian White was he was schooling on the dude, and I don't know if it says much about how a dude gets Wilder. He'll get knocked the f out, in my opinion, by Wilder. But that's fine. I want Wilder to take on all comers. I don't want him to think that he needs Joshua. He doesn't need Joshua. The closer Wilder gets to 50-0, man, the closer he gets to those legacy achievements, you're going to see a lot of these mainstream media outlets, these bandwagoners, these punks in the media. They're going to get on. They're going to start paying a lot more attention to Wilder, and he's already getting a lot of household people knowing him. Right now it's mostly boxing fans, but I'm telling you, I told people on another live stream, look, I know a lot of people that don't really follow boxing that know about that tall, Alabama slammer that knocks out people, man. And he just needs to focus on that, focus on his career, man. Forget Joshua.
Hey man, that's an interesting perspective, man. I'm with that. Hey, look, let me move on to the boxing clinic and more, man. Make a comment. What do you think about what Blood Boxing is saying as far as the route that Deontay Wilder needs to take? Boxing clinic? Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Boxing clinic must have checked out, huh?
No, I'm here. You hear me?
All right, what do you think, man? Turn your volume up a little bit, man, because I can't quite hear you.
I got these headphones on. I apologize. Can you hear me now?
That's a little better, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with him. I never really articulated that on my channel the way that he articulated that. He right. At the end of the day, Deontay Wilder is very, very close to 50-0. So when you're very, very close to 50-0, you're very, very close to making history. And then you're that much closer to the white media like Dan Rayfield jumping on your sack and trying to ride that wave too. So at the same time, today Eddie Hearn talking about, Joshua could retire. Joshua could retire after he gets all the belts. The problem is Deontay Wilder holds the last belt. And y'all not trying to fight him no time soon. And Blood right. You go back to Larry Holmes, favorite heavyweight of all time, because what he had to go through. He was the most hated heavyweight of all time. People forget that because it was a long time before a lot of people was born. And the Gary Cooney he went through, whatever the guy named. People knew that
That's
guy.
Gary Cooney.
Yeah, people knew that guy couldn't touch Larry Holmes. You know what I'm saying? People just hated Larry Holmes. Plain, simple, and period. And him and Wilder should form a relationship. He should talk to Wilder about how to deal with it. And Wilder dealing with it as well, but he don't need Anthony Joshua. We never needed the Brits, especially in boxing. Whenever they come over to the United States, what usually happens? They get beat up. Hatton to you can go the number of guys. When they come over, they get beat up. Carl Froch, Boardwalk versus Andre Ward, got beat up. Still salty about it. You got your exceptions like Joe Calzaghe, who came and beat up on Bernard, that looks a lot better than now. And then I believe he beat up on Roy Jones, the older Roy Jones. Yeah, you had those exceptions, and Joe Calzaghe was a wonderful fighter. But usually when they come over here, they get knocked out. Amir Khan, I mean, you can keep going on and on. So Anthony Joshua, of course, he don't want to come to the United States and don't want to crack this market, because cracking this market is facing his worst fear in Deontay Wilder. So if you can make $20 million and you can hide behind that excuse where Eddie Hearn is buying like 30, 40,000 tickets and reselling on StubHub for what, $10, $20, of course you're going to hide behind those numbers, you know what I'm saying? And I agree with Blood, I got to agree with what he was saying, because we have never needed the Brits for nothing as a black community, as, y'all Lions Den box community, all the people, we need the Brits for. No offense to the UK, but in boxing, when they usually come over here, they get beat up. Didn't Lennox Lewis come over here and get knocked out too?
He got knocked out twice.
Yeah, was Oliver McCall and
Hasim Rahman.
Yeah, I'm talking facts here. Like, they not kings of boxing. They just, in my opinion, don't have nothing to do over there. So boxing, when soccer ain't popping, they go to boxing. And I seen them fill up a stadium for Ricky Burns 1,000 times. you know. And Ricky Burns is the bottom of the barrel, you know, real shit. He is. So they gonna support their boxers. Just that the black community just have a hard time getting behind our fighters, for whatever reason it may be. And you can't do it without the casual boxing fan. And most of the casual boxing fans in America are white or maybe that Hispanic minority. But it's crazy though, man. It really is crazy that man is not gonna get his credit until he cracked 50-0. Then everybody gonna act like he the best thing smoking out of America. Watch what I tell you. Watch how Dan Rayfield, the Stevie Kims, the Doug Fishers all try to celebrate him. And it's gonna be a total love fest for Deontay Wilder if he defeats Anthony Joshua and get 50-0. Would it be fitting for him to defeat Anthony Joshua in the 50th fight? Fuck yeah, but I don't want to wait that long because guess what? Tomorrow is not promised to no man and no woman on this earth. So that's something I don't want to wait for. It should happen in August. We know it's not gonna happen in August. I keep telling people who come on my channel with the same stuff. Guess what? The dude said 2020. And when he say 2020, I believe him. He just said, I'm scared. I'm scared to lose. It's a difference. Choose your words, Riley. I'm fearful of losing, and I'm scared to lose. It's two different things. Tyson said, I had a fear of losing. That's what motivates me. When you're scared to do something, that's a totally different type of word right there. You cannot be scared to do anything in boxing. And when you put scared in the equation, I've been calling Joshua a pussy for the last couple of days. He is. Now he's scared. Now he's thinking about retirement. I mean, god damn, just walk the plank and just drop the belts. And if anybody out there hoping that Joseph Parker beats him, I'm in on this. It's not going to happen. Have you guys seen the last 4 Joseph Parker fights? I have. I know the Takam fight. Somebody, Joseph Parker can fight. I watched the Takam fight. I wasn't impressed. I said, what is a step-up fight? Then he fight the Andy Ruiz guy. I know he got with Abel Sanchez and lost a little belly fat. Man, his belly about the same size at the time. He got beat up. A lot of people thought Andy Ruiz won that. You know, he was fighting in the. Hey, look, real shit, dude. Andy Ruiz was fighting at the Masonic Temple in Detroit right before he fought Joseph Parker on one of our local cards. So you telling me a dude that was on the local level in Detroit, even though we got a great lineage for boxing here, it ain't been so great lately. This dude was just fighting in a club fighter in my city, and he goes over to New Zealand and almost beat the Kiwi Joseph Parker. Come on, tell me. He really beat him in some people's opinion. Some people I know that root for Joseph Parker said he really beat him. Then he goes and fight the guy Radovich. He underwhelmed that. And then you can't tell me, dude. And my man's from the UK on here. I'm not familiar with his channel, but I love to hear his opinion. Do he really think Hughie Fury lost that fight? I watched that whole fight. Hughie Fury did not lose that fight, man.
Hey, first of all, y'all don't know the Boxing Clinic and more. Y'all need to tune in and subscribe to the Boxing Clinic. This young man is an absolute hammer. But we got the king of heavyweight boxing. Hey, shout out to I'm trying to get 78 Sports TV. I sent him. Hopefully he'll get this thing, man. But we got Mr. Boxing today on the channel. I see his icon up here, and this man been paying attention to heavyweight boxing when nobody else was. And so I'll be very interested to get your hey, can somebody we got somebody with a lot of feedback. If you're not talking, hit the mic button, hit the mute button. Somebody hit the mute button because there's a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, that's a lot better from my end. Mr. Boxing today, man. And then we'll follow it up with Dr. Blick, The Truth, and Dr. Blick and The Truth on this question. So let me know what you think, Mr. Boxing.
What's good, man? Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you for sure.
All right. Now I was trying to get my live stream thing or get my Google thing to hang out or to work, man. So I'm not sure what all y'all covered. Last time I was on here, I heard y'all was just talking about the Whyte versus Brown fight. So you just want to get my opinion on that?
That's where we are. Well, the first thing we did, just to clarify for you, we talked about what your thoughts are. You can do both of these in a row. What's your thoughts on about the fight that happened with Dillian Whyte and Brown, and then also Blood Boxing gave his perspective of what he thought. And hey, just real quick, Blood, repeat what you thought what Wilder needs to do as far as moving forward and having people focus on Whyte versus focusing on Joshua, so that Mr. Boxing can give his thoughts on that.
I think Mr. Boxing today was on my live stream earlier. He heard me. He heard what I said.
Okay, yeah. So what do you think about what Blood's?
He knows what I was talking about.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
Hey,
first,
real quick. I'm sorry to cut you off, man. The Cali Enigma man, much respect in the super chat, and also there's another cat that gave a super chat. Shout out to you. Man, my screen is fucked up, so I can't really see what. Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. Matt Wade, man, he said happy belated birthday, bro. Mine is an Aries too. Yeah, shout out to Aries. The rest of y'all motherfuckers ain't live. Aries run this. Anyway, go ahead, Mr. Boxing today. I'm sorry.
well, first, the White Brown fight, going into the fight, I had it a 50-50-ish type fight, but I was favoring Dillian Whyte to win the fight. And the only reason I had it a 50-50 was just based on their styles. I know Dillian Whyte, he's always in there for a tear up, and sometimes he'll go in there really reckless. And I thought that'd give Brown an opportunity, as small as it was, an opportunity to land his right hand and probably knock Dillian Whyte out. Just Whyte likes to get into brawls, man. So, but I thought if kind of what he did in this fight, kind of fight smart, use his jab, go to the body when need be, and just use his volume and his youth. And I thought he'd be able to take care of Brown. Now, as far as the fight, it was a good win for Dillian Whyte. You know, now is it a win where I'm about to make 6 videos and it was the best thing I ever saw? And no, it was a good win. He knocked him out. It was a highlight reel win. And now he's put together some wins where he beat Chisora, he's beat Helenius, and now he's beat Brown. Those are decent wins in this atmosphere of heavyweights. It's not all-time great or anything like that. It's fringe contenders, but as far as this little group we got right now, it's a decent victory. I think the WBC, and I've been saying this for a while, man, they should have just made Dillian Whyte versus Brazil as the WBC final eliminator. I don't know why they made those elimination bouts with Whyte, and then Brazil fought Molina, which at first the WBC had Brazil and Molina as the final eliminator, which I thought was crazy, but they should have made that. As far as what Blood was saying, I listened to Blood's live stream earlier. I agree with what he was saying. I do believe if Wilder cannot get this fight with if AJ beats Parker, he does need to just move on and just start fighting some other guys. There's still guys out there that he can fight. Pulev, Povetkin. You got Ruiz Jr. You got Jarrell Miller. Whyte just won this fight. Brazil. Just start cleaning up house on those guys, man. If this guy doesn't want to fight you or freeze you out, or he has other things he want to do, then let the man do that. I think trying to get to Rocky Marciano's record or even break the American record with Larry Holmes. Well, it's still American, but you guys know what I'm saying. Just get close to those guys and try to get up there in the Holmes and Marciano, try to get up there. I think that'd be a good thing. I heard Boxing Clinic talking about Ruiz. I do remember that fight that Ruiz fought at in Detroit. He fought Josh Gormley. That's the same fight that Miller, Big Baby Miller, got in the ring and took the mic from Ruiz and started talking shit in his face. But I think a lot of these guys, man, they're all, in my opinion, the talent gap ain't that far from some of these guys. I don't think there's much of a difference from Ruiz Jr. and Jarrell Miller and Dillian Whyte. I really don't. I guess we have to see these guys fight, but I don't see that much of a difference in talent. I really don't. I think Wilder and Joshua, they stand out to me. We'll see what Parker does. But even a guy like Parker, he struggled against Takam and Ruiz, but the talent gap to me is pretty much the same. Those are tough fights, man. Even AJ had a tough time with Takam. It wasn't like it was competitive on the scorecards, but he made AJ think, and it took AJ a while to adapt to his style. But I think the talent gap isn't as far as most of us fans think. Just my opinion, though.
Hey, Fanon, can I ask Mr. Box today a question?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, one, real quick before you do though,
Sure.
I wanted to thank. We got a super chat. The Cali Enigma said Parker lost to Fury. The boxing clinic is spot on, and also we got 172 people. Shout out to all these cats in the LDBC, Dr. Blick and Dr. Truth. I ain't never had this many cats in it, so these guys are giving good stuff. Hit the like button out of respect for these cats. I don't, out of respect for the cats that are on the channel.
One more thing, Fanon. One more thing about Brown.
Go ahead,
He
man.
disappointed me. I know he's an older man, but he disappointed me with the shape he came in. I thought he'll be in better condition. I follow all these heavyweights on Instagram, and he was training. Dude's been, or at least that's what he portrayed it. He's been training. He came in at 265 for the Ruzan Chagaya fight. He was right around 250. I know that fight was 2 years ago. He's been very inactive. That's another reason why I was picking Whyte to win this fight, because Brown's been very inactive. When he got cut in this fight with Whyte, I really didn't panic as much as some fans did because the dude bleeds. He got cut in the when he fought Radinko, and when he fought what's the other cat's name? Eric Martel Baholi. He got cut, especially the Radinko fight. I think he was cut over both eyes and under his chin or some shit like that around his mouth. So when he got cut, I still thought he had a chance to land something, but coming in at 265, man, and he's been heavier in other fights too, like earlier in his career. But yesterday when I seen the weigh-in, I just started shaking my head, man.
All right, go ahead, General Africa.
Basically, my question is, when you look at guys like Dillian Whyte, I'd say that he had like kind of a sloppy win over Hellenius, and which I'd say is probably like a C-level opponent, and a solid win over another kind of lower tier opponent like Brown. And then you got a guy like Gerald Miller fighting guys like, Marius Wacken. Would you agree that a lot of these fighters that want to get these big fights against the Wilders and the Joshuas, they're not fighting, they're just fighting the same people, and it's forcing Wilder into a situation where these guys don't necessarily deserve a fight with Wilder, but he has to take those fights anyway if he wants to get legacy.
I mean, yeah, but then they can also use the fact that they're just beating the same guys that, Wilder and all these other guys have beaten. So they're going down that same road. What they need to do is fight each other. Guys like Whyte and Miller, instead of fighting these guys that have lost to the Wilders and guys like that, just fight each other. And that's my frustration with all this, man. So to me, Wilder should just pick them off. Just fight them anyways, man, because these guys are going to get highly ranked by sanctioning bodies. So if Brazil and Whyte and all these guys are number one, number two, although there's no set mandatory, I'll just fight them guys. And another fight that I think Wilder should push for is the Povetkin fight. I still think there's some unsettled business. Wasn't Wilder's fault, but I still think putting Povetkin on his resume, you take out Ortiz and Povetkin, man, those are literally two of the top 5 heavyweights in the last few years.
You done, Mr. Boxing?
Yep.
You just went out?
Yeah, I totally agree. In a perfect world, these guys will fight each other, but they're not fighting each other. So I'm just saying, fuck it, Wilder just take them all out, man, because these organizations have made it abundantly clear that they're not going to make these guys fight each other, man.
Hey, let me
I agree,
here, man. We got let me jump in real quick. We got a couple guests from the UK and the Truth and Dr. Blick. Start with the Truth. The Truth, what do you think, just from the UK's perspective, man, what do you think is going to happen as far as Anthony Joshua? Do you think that this dude is going to actually fight Deontay Wilder? What's your thoughts on what Blood Boxing and Mr. Boxing today said about the route that he was going to go? And also, I think the Boxing Clinic also said that he wanted to know, Boxing Clinic, what was the question that you said you wanted to ask the UK dudes?
I wanted to know what did he think Hughie Fury really lost to Joseph Parker, real quick.
Oh yeah, so we got some cats actually from the UK, so we don't have to guess. What do you guys think? Start with the Truth, and then right after that, we'll move to Dr. Blick.
Okay, thanks. I think I just want to say that if Deontay Wilder had the support that Anthony Joshua has in the UK, then the fight between Wilder and Joshua would have already been signed, sealed, and delivered a long time ago. And I think there's a real problem in terms of in the US of supporting African American fighters. And I say that as a black man myself in the UK. And I think that a huge part of why Wilder's name is out there now and globally known is because of the work of the LDBC and yourself, Fernand, and you guys promoting him, making him out there and on everybody's lips now, because the whole world is saying Anthony Joshua against Deontay Wilder. I think from the UK perspective, just my perspective, I don't see Eddie Hearn looking to fight Wilder Anthony Joshua looking to fight Wilder in the near future, and I agree with Blood in terms of he shouldn't wait around and do the Amir Khan and waste his career basically waiting around for that fight, and he should just go ahead and go for that 50-0, which is very much in his grasp. I hope that boxing sorts itself out and we do get that fight this year. But just hearing Eddie Hearn and hearing not just Eddie Hearn, but also the UK commentators and the analysts and things like that. Even in the fight, the Dillian Whyte fight, all they were talking about was Dillian Whyte, Deontay Wilder matchup. They weren't even mentioning Anthony Joshua. They were kept on asking each other, Dillian Whyte will be also commentating on the Joshua Parker fight, and do you think that Dillian Whyte and will step to Deontay Wilder and call out Deontay Wilder on that day? So there's a whole sort of narrative and perspective in the UK of pushing this fight. So I agree with Blood. I think that if this fight is not going to materialize, Deontay Wilder shouldn't waste his career. In terms of the Huey Fury fight, and the fight happened in Manchester. So if there was a chance for Huey Fury to win that fight, he was on home turf. I think it was a close fight. I think it could have gone either way. I think that this is just my personal opinion, and that he should have been more aggressive in the fight, and try and make it more clear cut. And home turf. So in terms of the judges, it was all there for Huey Fury to take that belt, and the fact that the judges gave it to Parker speaks volumes. And yeah, that's my take on it.
Hey, what, Dr. Blick? It's on you. What are your thoughts on those two questions?
So when it comes down to Wilder and Anthony Joshua, I don't think the fight is going to happen this year. And when it comes to the fight as a whole, I feel like there's a limited amount of time, like due to the whole rights in terms of whether Joshua is going to sign with HBO and Wilder being with Showtime. I feel like there's only a limited amount of time for Wilder to fight Anthony Joshua if they're going to fight for to be undisputed, say if he gets past Joseph Parker. So I don't feel like the fight is going to happen. I feel like Wilder should fight Povetkin, Pulev, and fight all these other top level people that don't have belts. Because the problem is everybody's fighting around each other and pretty much fighting just each other's opponents. They're fighting each other's leftovers, which is not making them look good. So what Wilder should do is he should fight people like Dillian Whyte, Big Baby, and all those other people, because I feel like in terms of that, it would actually help him build up his record. And it's going to get to a certain point where you can't really send him to fight this person because he's already fought everybody at that point. And I feel like Anthony Joshua could end up slipping up against anyone because, like Anthony Joshua said, he's scared of losing. That's why he doesn't talk bad about Deontay Wilder, because he's not confident in himself. Like Wilder says, the people don't, like, the reason why he doesn't say all this stuff because he doesn't truly believe that he's the best. He doesn't believe that he could actually beat Deontay Wilder, in my opinion. But when it came down to the Huey Fury fight, I feel like Huey Fury could have thrown a bit more because, like the other dude said, he was pretty much there to win the fight. He could have won it because Joseph Parker was struggling. He couldn't really hit him that cleanly or be that effective against him. All he needed to do was just be a little bit more aggressive and show that he was actually the more dominant guy. I do feel like Huey Fury won the fight, but it wasn't clear enough for the judges, obviously. And like he said, he was on home territory. But yeah, Wilder's in a better position than Anthony Joshua, in my opinion, because a lot more people are willing to fight him, and Anthony Joshua looked like he's going to tiptoe around him, but it's going to get to a certain point where there's only so much tiptoe around you can do unless you're going to fight the same people and over again. And with the UK fans, they're going to catch on that Anthony Joshua's kind of scamming everybody with the way he's going around everything. But that's what I got to say on it.
We got my man 78 Sports TV in the house, man. Thank you, dude. I was blowing your ass up trying to make sure you got into this. Thank you
What's
for
up, bro?
chilling, man. Thanks for showing up, man. We had a couple questions I wanted to give you. We got a few people. I don't know. You got the Bison Clinic and more. I don't know if you're familiar with the Bison Clinic.
Yeah, most definitely.
Do one of the best channels on YouTube. What's your thoughts on Bloods? First of all, what do you think about the fight and what it means with this the fight that happened today? What's your thoughts on it?
I watched the Dillian Whyte and Lucas Brown fight. I wasn't impressed, but at the same time, I don't want to be too negative towards Dillian Whyte. I mean, he did what he was supposed to do. They put him in there with Lucas Brown. I have no idea why so many people was acting like Lucas Brown was so good, and people were just literally heard nobody calling Lucas Brown a bum. Okay, nobody was saying Lucas Brown was a bum. He's overrated. I'm just like, wow, like, okay. Then HBO picked up the fight. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like Whyte is gonna. I didn't think Whyte was gonna knock him out that early. I thought Whyte would just outbox him easily, but he stopped him. Just dominated this guy. He's a stationary target, slow as ever, slowest fighter I've seen in years. Okay, just horrible without his steroids. Horrible. Belly hanging over his trunks. He just looked horrible. He hands down. He couldn't avoid any punches. He threw one punch at a time. He rarely, if ever, threw the right hand. Couldn't find his range. And Dillian Whyte just styled all over him. So this was not a good measuring stick for me to see how Dillian Whyte would do against Wilder. I think Whyte just he did what he was supposed to do. I already knew Whyte was better than this guy. I mean, but regardless of the fact, I'm at this point, Deontay Wilder going over to the UK for the Joshua Parker fight is a waste of time at this point because unless he plans on fighting Dillian Whyte, it's a waste of time because the whole thing is a setup. Everybody knows it. He's going over there. He's not getting a Joshua fight. He's going over there to fight Dillian Whyte. When he gets there, like I said, when I first heard that Wilder would be doing the announcing, I said, if Dillian Whyte beats this guy, Lucas Brown, forget about Joshua. What they're going to do is get Wilder over there. They're going to ambush him. He's going to be coming out the bathroom or some weird shit like that, coming out the little break room or something, and it's going to be 15 people from Dillian Whyte's camp. Yo, what's up? What's up? When you going to fight us? Stop ducking us. Stop ducking me. Woo, woo. And they're going to make that the narrative. That's all you kept hearing them talk about. Wilder versus Whyte. Everybody has just completely ignored the fact that Joshua at this point is acting like he's ducking Wilder. It just ignore that. Ignore it. So now Deontay Wilder's in a position where he basically has to allow Eddie Hearn to be his de facto promoter. Eddie Hearn has already stated several times that he wants Wilder to fight Dillian Whyte. He wants Wilder to fight Dillian Whyte. He's been saying this since forever, right? And now it looks like Eddie Hearn's going to get what he wants. He's going to get what he wants eventually. I mean, because look, he has kept Joshua away from Wilder. Most of the Joshua protectors are allowing that to happen. They're not criticizing it at all. So what's going to end up happening is, like I say, Wilder's going to get over there. It's going to be a setup. They're going to ambush him and start Dillian Whyte talking shit or whatever, and this is going to be some dumb shit. And they're going to say, oh, look, Wilder, why won't he fight Dillian Whyte? That's going to be the whole narrative, man.
Hey, man, I got to jump in, man, because I'm telling you, 78, you're prophetic. Because there was a subscriber that sent let me hit this mic, that sent a video, and I got mine on mute, so I'm not going to hear from people for a second. So if I talk over you, forgive me. But there's an article that came out of the express.co.uk that said Deontay Wilder to snub Anthony Joshua. WBC champ could miss Joseph Parker bout exclusive. And in the article, this is a UK article where they talked about how Deontay Wilder, since he's not allowed to come into the ring, might not show up to the fight. And the reason he doesn't want to show up to the fight is because he's trying to duck out of a fight with Dillian Whyte. So the UK, and this is, like I said, this is an article that's in the Express. You guys can check it out yourself. It's express.co.uk, where they pretty much are trying to lead in with that conversation already.
Right. That was the plan from the beginning. It's always been about Dillian Whyte. Sky Sports invite Wilder over. Hey, come call the fight. Yeah, you know, blah blah blah. AJ versus Wilder. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? It's always been about Dillian Whyte. They want this guy to get a title shot against Wilder. Eddie Hearn is begging for it because he promised Dillian Whyte a title shot. And Eddie Hearn is hoping for the small chance that Dillian Whyte could pull off an upset, hopefully, or they can rob him, Wilder on the fucking scorecards. You know, he's hoping for something catastrophic like that to happen to where they can completely shut Wilder out. I don't know why these guys are so afraid of this dude, man. I just don't get it. Like, AJ can fucking fight, man. I don't get the maneuvering and all this shit for you fighting everybody. You're willing to fight everybody except for this guy. I just don't get it. So if I was Wilder, I say fuck him, man. I wouldn't go over there. I mean, what's the point of going over there at this point? If they're gonna disrespect you until you can't get in the ring, oh, if you don't do what I tell you to do, we'll freeze you out. What the fuck am I going over there for, man? I'm a champion, you're a champion, I want to fight you, and you're telling me I gotta fucking do all this other extra shit to fight you. Well, what am I going over there for? What's the point? You know what I mean? So you can tell me I gotta fight Dillian Whyte like you told me months ago. Remember, Wilder said, okay, you keep talking about Dillian Whyte, fine. I'll fight Dillian Whyte. You signed the contract saying that Anthony Joshua was next. Eddie Hearn said no. He said, just because you beat Dillian Whyte, that's not the guaranteed Joshua fight. So it's like, get the fuck out of here, man. Who the hell you think you are? Definitely tell me who I have to fight, and then tell me you're not guaranteeing me the Joshua fight afterwards. It's garbage.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, jump in, man.
Okay, I think it's a straight setup, okay, for them to have Wilder come over there at this point. They're bringing him over there so IFL TV and all of them people could put on a big show with Dillian Whyte approaching Wilder. Maybe they might have the brothers, the Whyte and his brother versus Wilder and his brother. I don't know, but I think it's all a big setup. I don't think Wilder needs to go over to somebody else's country. You hear how them guys always talking. Bring their asses over here. I could tell you right now that Larry Holmes wouldn't have been chasing them. You know, bring their ass over here. He don't need to go over there. I mean, who are these guys anyways? They're big over there. What about somebody being big over here, representing over here? He don't have to go over there. So if he don't go over there, I don't blame him. And by the way, too, Lucas Brown needed that Combuterol. That same shit that you see Canelo Alvarez on right now, that's the shit that he was taking.
Hey, I'll pause for 1 second. Hey, Ryan Island, you'll get your ass thrown the fuck up out of here if you're rude. You don't got to ride Deontay Wilder. You got to treat people with respect. I'm watching the comment section, and I just don't do that shit. You can go to another channel.
Hey, give me a wrench, Fanon. Let me get a wrench, Fanon.
What do you say?
Let me get a wrench, man.
Who is this?
General Africa. He's real.
Yeah, I'll do it. But I'm just going to let you know. I see my man over here, VJ Singh, B Sing in, who's saying the same shit you're saying. And ain't nobody put him out. You get disrespectful, you get bounced the fuck up out of here. Because nobody wants to attend a live stream or a conversation about boxing where they gotta get disrespected. Period. You can say whatever you want to say, as long as it's your opinion and you don't get on nobody. We're not doing that. There's a bunch of other people saying the same stuff you're doing, man, and I'm watching the lives and I'm watching the chats. But if you talk crazy, you will get bounced because you ruin the experience for other people. Period. And it's not a question. You will get bounced. So just be respectful and keep it moving, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Blood.
Hey, y'all heard Big Bro now. Y'all chill with that shit. Damn, you went in, bro. Hey, that's all I had to say.
I'm sorry, man. Just
can I add something?
Yeah, jump in there, man.
What I was gonna say is that they did the same thing with Klitschko when they had what's his name? They had Tony Bellew have that confrontation with Wilder, saying that Tony Bellew wants to fight Wilder. Like they did that with Klitschko in the Klitschko fight when he was fighting with Anthony Joshua. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do that junk again with Dillian Whyte and try and make that the main attention. And then they had Tony Bellew talking about a possible fight with Deontay Wilder. And then we obviously know that Tony Bellew backed out because he saw how big Wilder is compared to himself. But yeah, I do agree it's a setup. But if they were to fight, I do feel like Deontay Wilder will be too athletic, too quick, too powerful for Dillian Whyte, and I feel like he'll blow that guy out like easy compared to like all the other people that he's fought. Yeah. Like once he beat Ortiz, I'm confident that any person that he fights in terms of the Dillian Whytes, the big babies, I'm confident that he will beat them with ease. Well, that's all I got to say on that.
Hey,
Hey,
Fanon.
yeah, I
Real
was gonna
quick.
say Mr. Boxing Today, and then I wanted to roll to my man. Next two is Mr. Boxing Today, then the Boxing Clinic. I got you, Boxing Clinic.
All right, for sure.
Go ahead,
All right,
Mr.
let me just.
Boxing Today.
I just want to add one thing, man. No matter who Wilder fights, I got the WBC rankings pulled up. It's pretty much, man. He going to get killed by media and most of these so-called fans. Because you look at this top 15. Let me just run through it real quick. Stavern, number 15. He already took care of that. Chisora, nobody wants to see that. Lucas Brown, 13, just got knocked out. Carlos Takam, people will say, oh, that's the AJ leftover. That's the Povetkin leftover. You got 11, Oscar Rivas, who's a good prospect level guy. He can't get clear for eye exam here in the States because he keeps failing a retina test. He's a guy that had fights with Gerald Washington and Amir Mansour, took him off the table because he couldn't pass the eye exam. Good up-and-coming fighter, but people say he's fighting a bum. You got Ajay Caballel at number 10. He just beat uh, Derek Chisora for the EBU title. People say that's a bum. You got Adam Konowski, number 9, Charles Martin, number 8, Duapa, number 7, Bellew, number 6. It's going to have to be Pulev, Povetkin, or Brazil or Whyte. He just have to fight one of them dudes. I know fans are going to say, especially the AJ super fans will say he's fighting leftovers. Well, if that's the case, then AJ got to get in there if he beat Parker, man, because it's almost leaving Wilder to pick with guys that most fans don't know, or it's going to be leftovers of Klitschko or AJ, and then we'll play that game over and over. That's the part I don't want to play. This whole game of, well, he beat his leftovers, or he didn't beat them quicker, or that type of shit, man. We need this fight. We really do need this fight. But if Wilder can't get it, I do want him to move on. But I'm just saying, though, man, a lot of fans going to keep the whole narrative, oh, you're fighting bums. I don't think some of these dudes are bums, but I think he has to me, man, just go out and just knock Dillian Whyte the fuck out, or Brazil, or whoever it is. They're number 1, number 2. Go out to them 2 first, and then just work your way down, man, and Povetkin. Maybe Pulev. But a lot of these dudes, we got Tony Bellew right here and Ajay Caballel, like, he's not going to get the credit he deserves if he beat those guys, in my opinion.
Clinic, go ahead, man. CJ.
Oh yeah, I wanted to
Hey, turn
respond
your
to my.
mic up though if you can in between.
I wish I could, but I got my cheap. I got my daughter headphones, but hopefully you
Oh, that's
guys can
cool.
hear. Hope you guys can hear me. I want to respond to Mr. Boxing News today. I think that's his name, right? I don't want to butcher his name.
Mr. Boxing today. Mr.
Oh,
Boxing
Mr.
today.
Boxing today. Yeah, for sure. You're gonna get a subscriber from me. But like I think he was saying earlier that it's not a talent gap between all the heavyweights. That was you saying that, right?
Nah, well, I said the talent gap between some of the, like, the like 5 or 6 through 15. I think the talent gap is a little bit closer than most fans think.
I definitely agree with that. I said that a few months ago. I said it's not a big talent gap between any of those. Most of those guys you talking about, even some of the guys that's coming up, it's not a huge talent gap. It's not at all. And Dillian Whyte, Jarrell Miller, that's really a fight that should have happened today. Miller and Whyte, that's a fight that they should have delivered. But Dillian obviously evaded, Miller for the time well being. I don't know why, but it is what it is. But it's not a big talent gap. And like I said, it's just me personally. I don't see Joseph Parker as being any good. I think he's a step above Miller, and that's not saying much, but I don't see it. And I done broke down countless tape of Joseph Parker. I mean, more than you can count, look, see. I mean, if you had 18 eyes, you still couldn't beat how much tape I looked. And every time I look at him, I see talent when he's training, when he's hitting the pad. But when he goes into the ring, it's just like it doesn't translate from training and coaching into the ring. But like you guys said, yeah, they're gonna set up Deontay Wilder. And that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna have Dillian Whyte. They all gonna have his entourage gonna have Dillian Whyte varsity jackets on, howling like wolves and stuff of that nature. And that's what you're gonna get with that. It's best for him to stay here and don't go over there and call it a fight. Um, Obviously gonna have Johnny Nelson in the Anthony Joshua t-shirt, rah rah him on, and it's just gonna be a PR nightmare, and And like somebody else said, I think it was Mr. Boxing Today said he's just gonna have to fight them guys, and that's just what it's gonna have to be. He's gonna have to fight them and just knock them down like dominoes and stay busy, you know. And after a while, after you beat, you know, everybody around AJ, it's just if it come down to AJ, that don't, and you made enough money. I'm pretty sure you guys know about Shelly Finkel, his manager. You probably wonder why Deontay has three managers. The third one I don't know. I know Al Heyman and I know Shelly Finkel. Both are amazing businessmen. I've done my research on both. And if you're wondering how Mark Breland became Deontay Wilder's coach, it's not a surprise. He was, you know, managed by Shelly Finkel when he fought. And Shelly Finkel set him up with an annuity where he gets 100,000 every year. So he don't have to train Deontay Wilder. He get 100 G's every year. And that's just this type of manager and type of business dudes that Deontay Wilder is messing with. You know, he got his 4 point some million from the Povetkin fight. If y'all didn't know, he got that money. So for him to be deprived of money or starving for the payday, that's not true. You know, people say, well, Al Heyman fighters fight once, twice, three, you know, once, twice a year or something like that because they invest in their money. Al is just not a boxing advisor. He's a business advisor. He's that person they get, he tripling, quadrupling, quintupling their money. They're investing very, very wisely. And that's why they don't have to go in there and do stuff. Do it backfire like Keith Thurman? Absolutely, it backfires sometimes. So I'm just making that example saying that Deontay doesn't have to fight for the money. It's not about the money at this point. He has a great management team that's making sure he invests his money wisely. It's just the fact that he want to get it over and done with. Joshua don't want to get it over and done with, but Wilder does. And quite frankly, they are in two different points in their career. One has 20-something fight, one has 40 fights, about 40 fights, right? So, okay, but I remember I'm gonna leave on this point because I gotta go out to dinner with my babies. I'm gonna leave you on this point with two good points. I remember one thing that stood out to me, Sergio Martinez is one of my favorite fighters of this generation. Hands down. One thing he told Chavez Jr. when he was prepping for him, he said, if you're a world champion young man, you should be ready for to fight anybody, no matter if you got 5 fights, 10 fights, 50 fights. When you're a champion, you ready. It's no more being pampered. You got to be ready to step up and fight who you're going to want to fight. So that 20 fight in defense of what Joshua fans are saying, drop the belts then if he still needs time to prep. You know what I'm saying? Drop the belts. It's as simple as that. You know, so that's not an argument between the fight gap. It's not an argument. When you hold the belt, you ready to fight any and everybody. And I appreciate you for this platform, my brother. And I also want to say this. I'm hearing strong rumors. I'm gonna leave y'all with a rumor that HBO has declined to pick up Demetrius Andrade and Sergey Shinchenko. They was pushing for that fight to be on the David Lemieux, Billy Joe Saunders card. Apparently, Boo Boo said that he was dealing with an injury from the Lantes Fox fight, and now that they had basically both camps have came to a financial deal and everything is sold up. HBO don't want to buy the fight, and I find it funny they picked up the Dillian Whyte and the Lucas Brown fight. So the interesting thing about this is if another network could pick it up, yeah, but Demetrius Andrade has a 3-fight deal, with at least 2 more fights on this HBO deal. So you can be looking for them to buy him out, scrap it, and him be heading over to Showtime once again, in my opinion. But thanks again, brother Fanon, for the platform again. All you guys are amazing. I'm gonna definitely follow you. Most of you guys, if I haven't followed you guys in blood, you do a wonderful job, man. I watch your videos all the time, and of course 7-8, that's the big bro right there. Been watching it for years, and everybody else appreciate just to be up here with y'all.
Hey man, thanks for coming through the channel, the clinic.
One love,
And
bro.
take care of your babies, man. Let me hit a couple of these live super chats real quick. Gary Benson said, great lineup, all-star team on the air for sure, man. 78 Blood, Mr. Boxing Today, Mr. Blick, General Africa, The Truth. Even though The Truth, you need to get you a channel, man. You know boxing too well just to be sitting up there in the rafters, Doug. But I'm glad that you come on the channel. I'm gonna ask this a straightforward question, and I'm gonna start with 78 Sports TV.
Hold on, can I ask a quick question first?
Yeah. Is this The Truth?
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, do you? But
yeah.
hey, but I just want to make sure I said Mr. Mark Blake and Gary Benson, man. Thank you very much in the super chat. Go ahead, The Truth.
It's just a thought that's just come into my head, and I wanted to ask the panel. We all know how the IBF gets down. So if Deontay Wilder beats the #1 contender for the IBF title, making him the mandatory, is that another option possibly for Deontay Wilder to get a fight with Anthony Joshua. I just wanted to ask the panel that if it's a possibility.
I don't think so because he's a WBC champion, and he would have to give up his WBC title or work something out with the IBF to where they're all coming together to try to make this fight kind of like what because the IBF doesn't have any like minor titles, you know what I'm saying? So if Wilder was to become the IBF mandatory, the only way he could do that is by dropping the WBC title because it's a big scam, man.
Thanks for that. Yeah, no, I hear you, 78.
Damn, I missed that.
I think they have something in the regulations too, and to which these some of these sanctioning bodies have it. If you have a belt in one of the sanctioning bodies, I don't think you could be ranked in the other sanctioning body, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm familiar with that. Yeah, that is the case. I can't remember which ones that's the case with, but most definitely.
Let me just add this for now. Even if that was the case, it's still the same log jams of the same fighters in the WBC rankings. Pulev is number 2, Miller's number 3, Dillian Whyte's number 4, Povetkin. Dillian Whyte. Yeah, Dillian Whyte's 4, Povetkin 5, Brazil 6. It's the same log jam of fighters that are in the WBC rankings.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry. I was trying to read a comment at the same time. Let me know if you guys have any questions. We got 102 likes, almost 300 people in the building. So, let's hit some couple. Either it should be 300 either way. Either we got another 120 dislikes to go or another 100 likes to go. Either way it goes, hit it one way or the other. Let me pose a question to the panel, though, and this is just a straightforward question. I'm gonna start with the Dr. Blick, and then move from what I can see to my left, and then end with blood boxing. What happens if Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua get in the ring? What do you have?
I have Deontay Wilder. I feel like he's more athletic, and I feel like Anthony Joshua's going to struggle to fight someone like that because there's not really a lot of people that fight the way Deontay Wilder fights. And plus, Anthony Joshua's been fighting a lot of shorter guys recently. The last person he fought was Klitschko, and he obviously struggled in the Klitschko fight. He made it through, but I feel like Wilder's going to be too athletic. And when it comes down to power, in terms of like physical strength, even though AJ does have big muscles and all that stuff, I do feel that Wilder will be the stronger of the two and the more aggressive of the two. And if AJ actually truly is actually going to fight like he's talking, then he's going to hesitate on a lot of stuff because that power is going to keep him at check, especially if Wilder's able to use that jab because AJ's got no head movement, and trying to block Wilder's punches is not going to be effective because we've seen what happened to Stiverne when he tried to block them punches. I don't think it's going to be effective for him. But Anthony Joshua obviously has a chance, but like he gets hit with too many right hands. I just feel like it's just wrong for Anthony Joshua. Wilder's too awkward. A lot of people say that Wilder can't defend and can't block, and he gets himself out of position. But at the end of the day, it's about being effective. It's about doing what you can and focusing on the strengths that you have. Even though Wilder's boxing ability, in my opinion, is very underrated. I feel like he's average all round everything, but he has that equalizer in terms of power, athleticism, and speed. And what use is having textbook boxing skills when it doesn't really work? Like Ortiz had better skills than pretty much majority of people in the division. He still didn't matter. It didn't matter because Wilder still had that power and was still effective against Ortiz with what he had to use, especially knowing the fact that he did not have that snappy jab. But I feel like it's a close fight. But I don't feel like Anthony Joshua is confident enough in himself to win. And confidence in boxing takes you far, regardless of what your ability is. If you believe in yourself and you have decent ability, you always have a chance. We don't want it to be like freaking Michael Spanks when he was freaking scared of Mike Tyson or something like that. But I feel Wilder's got the advantage, and I feel like they want to try and wait it out for Wilder to get a lot older and start to slow down. But yeah, that's why I got Wilder winning this.
What about you? Hey man, much respect. What about you, General Africa?
Short and sweet, man. I agree with the brother, man. Wilder. Anthony Joshua's he's lost the fight mentally, man. So like what was it, Dr. Blick?
Yeah, it's Dr.
You
Blick.
know, yeah, Dr. Blick said. I mean, Joshua doesn't have the confidence. Every other day he's saying, "Oh, I'm confident now." Then the next day, "Oh, I don't. I'm afraid of, you know, losing." And article just came out. Hearn just said that there's so many articles. But he just said that there'd probably be Joshua's last fight. He's already talking about retirement. He doesn't even have 30 fights yet. So Wilder.
The truth.
I've got Wilder by knockout. I think Anthony Joshua, if he has any chance, it'll be early in the fight. I think there's the reasons why I think Deontay Wilder will knock out Anthony Joshua is because Anthony Joshua is a sucker for the right hand, and Deontay Wilder's got the best right hand in the business, basically. And the second factor, I think, that's telling as well and shows me why Deontay Wilder is going to win it is because of stamina. Anthony Joshua gasses towards the later rounds, and Wilder has shown that if it's round 1 or round 12, he's still got good. He's got a good engine. So if Joshua has a chances in the early rounds, but I don't see it. I think it's Wilder knockout all the way.
Hey, I'm sorry. Let me break it up before I get to Mr. Boxing today. Somebody said I timed him out. Lacey Griffiths, if I timed you out, that was an accident. The cats that got the wrenches in their hands, hey, man, the wrenches are at their disposal. I ain't going to monitor what they do. These are cats that show up to the channel on a regular basis. And on the real week, I would much rather somebody time somebody out than not time them out, because there's just so many trolls on the internet, man. That shit will ruin a conversation in a heartbeat. So if somebody was too quick with you, I apologize, but better safe than sorry up in this mug. Go ahead, Mr. Boston today.
I'll favor Deontay Wilder in this fight, man. Pretty much the guys on the panel pretty much covered it, but the stamina is something that I look at, especially when you got guys that can hit this hard. I think Wilder's just more equipped to go longer rounds, despite how the fight is going. Whether he starts to get into a little dust up like he did with Ortiz, or if it's kind of posturing and pecking away at each other, kind of like how it was with Spilka. Then he put his ass in a mild coma after that. But and then another thing, AJ just doesn't move his head enough for my liking. Now, he isn't a guy, he ain't gonna give you the Pernell Whitaker look. He's not gonna be bending all the way down to the ground and all the ground and all that. He tries to slip and use the high guard. And I just see Wilder just setting him up, man, just setting him up, coming right through that high guard, right on the chin, a la Klitschko, the way he hit AJ. But what I will say, if Wilder does get into some dangerous situation like he did with Duhaupas, the Duhaupas fight's eye just got swelled up, but Molina caught him pretty good. Or even like when Ortiz caught him, I do think Joshua has a better chance of finishing him than those other guys, because I think he puts his combinations together well. But and another thing, I just see AJ giving him a lot of respect. I do not see this coming forward, throwing 4 or 5 punch combinations. I don't see that. And if Takam was able to make him think and readjust because of his movement, what do you think Wilder gonna do? And Wilder got something waiting for his ass when he do make him think and readjust. I got Wilder by knockout.
Damn, Mr. Boxing today. I'm telling you, man, I thought you were gonna say some shit different than that. Hey, 78.
Yo, man, I agree with everything Mr. Boxing today just said, man. I've been saying it as far as I got Wilder winning 7 rounds or less by knockout. I think that stylistically, I think that Joshua is pretty much tailor-made for Deontay Wilder's right hand. I just think so. He doesn't have enough side-to-side movement. His defense is putting his guard up, and we've seen Wilder destroy people's high guard. He destroys it. He can hit you on the side of the guard. He can punch right through it. That's how hard he got hit. And he's knocking people down by grazing them. Okay, and like Mr. Boxing Day just said, AJ, I believe he let this fight get too big. Okay, he let it get too big. Regardless of what he says, he's going to be thinking about it. The pressure is going to be there. He's not confident like Wilder is. Wilder's confident. AJ's not going. When it's all said and done, they get in that ring. AJ's going to show Wilder a lot of respect. He's not going to be his traditional self. He's not going to come in there mauling. That's why I think Dillian Whyte is a more dangerous fight for Wilder than AJ, because Dillian Whyte ain't going to give a fuck. Dillian Whyte is going to take risk. He's going to take risks. It's going to get him knocked out, but he's going to take risks. AJ, I think, is going to get in there with Wilder because of the moment, because he's afraid to lose. He's going to try to work his confidence through every round, try to win rounds, stuff like that. And before you know it, one slip up, it's all it takes, man. Boom, he's out of there. And we're gonna be doing a live stream right after the video, right after the fight.
And we're gonna do it on your channel, 78.
Oh yeah.
Blood, let me know what you think and then get your parting words, man. We've been rolling for a while, and I'm gonna roll the last words all the way to 78.
Okay, well, before I do that, man, I just wanted to say too, I didn't get to hear 78's opinion on all of that stuff with what path Wilder should take. I mean,
back it up then. Ask the question so 78 can do that. My bad. I thought I did that. My bad.
Yeah. I just
shout out to Patrick Scott for the super chat. Much respect. He said Wilder got to go to England. If not, no mention of him. But go ahead. Shout outs in the super chat, Patrick Scott. Go ahead, Blood. I'm sorry.
When Larry Holmes and John Tate in 1980, they was in a similar situation to Wilder and Anthony Joshua, and I showed it. But the difference with Larry Holmes, he wasn't going around saying that, what do I got to do to get a shot against John Tate? He wasn't that type of guy. And at what point does Wilder realize, like, hey, I'm the one closer to legacy accomplishment here. My name is the one going down in the books. Neither one of them are big here in America right now. And the only way Anthony Joshua could get big is if we build Anthony Joshua, okay? Because right now, if I walked outside, ain't nobody going to know Anthony Joshua. And that's just on the real. I'll prove it on video. But if we build this guy, he's going to become big. So we need to stop presenting this narrative that Wilder, what does he need to do to get an Anthony Joshua fight? Wilder needs to go after legacy, man. What do you think about that, 78?
Hey, I agree, man. I'm with it. As soon as you said that today, I was with it. Like, yeah, I agree, because I'm tired. I'm fed up with the whole like trying to negotiate with so-called boxing fans why two champions should fight. Like, I'm just tired of the excuses. I'm tired of all the, different mazes and tunnels and shit he got to go through to get a fight. Like, okay, forget whoever Wilder fights, they're gonna call him a bum anyway. All right, so just fight him. Just fight these other guys. Fuck AJ. And when AJ comes around, he got a couple losses on his record, then he'll want to fight you and shit. And then you'll be in the power position, and then you can fuck with him the way he fuck with you. You know what I mean? I think he should just go ahead and knock off these guys like Dillian Whyte, Dominic Brazil, and Big Baby Miller, Povetkin, Pulev. That's 5 good wins right there. That's good ass wins. I don't care what nobody say. He beat them 5 guys right there. That's 5 good ass wins. Take him to 45-0. You know what I'm saying? And by that time, maybe he want to fight. Maybe Tyson Fury is back, in the mix. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But I personally think AJ might, avoid Wilder and end up losing to Tyson Fury and shit, man. It's just gonna ruin everything and shit.
Yeah. I also think that Anthony Joshua, I agree with what everybody said as far as who will win in the ring. I think that Wilder is going to embarrass AJ because AJ has what's called Floyd Patterson syndrome. Floyd Patterson had this with Sonny Liston, okay? After Sonny Liston destroyed Floyd Patterson, what did Floyd Patterson do? Floyd Patterson went into hiding. When he came outside to go get groceries and stuff, he would wear disguises because he wanted to be perceived as the baddest guy on the planet. He knew he wasn't that, but he still had the guts to go in there against Sonny Liston and go in there again against him, knowing that he's afraid of him. And we have the same situation. When a fighter has taken your heart, that's a big accomplishment in boxing. That's all I got to say.
Who next?
Yeah, who's next?
Dr. Blick was next. I'm sorry, man. I have my microphone on. I'm sorry, man. I have my microphone on mute. Dr. Blick, what's your thoughts on that?
On where Wilder should go next.
Yeah.
I feel like
no, I'm sorry.
No, I think it was on who you think will win in the fight.
Thank you, Blood. Thank you, Blood.
I already said, but I said Wilder will win because Anthony Joshua's got lack of head movement, the stamina issues. Wilder's got better footwork in terms of speed, and I feel like Anthony Joshua will respect him too much. And I feel like Wilder's power could scare him in terms of him committing himself. Like I think it was 78 that said Dillian Whyte's a tougher fight because Dillian Whyte is afraid of no one. He's willing to take gambles and he wants to scrap. Even though I feel like if he was to scrap Wilder, he's gonna lose that battle. But yeah, I feel like Wilder is gonna be too big, too strong, too powerful, and I feel like him being awkward is gonna cause problems for AJ because AJ is more stiff and robotic in terms of his movement, and lack of head movement is just gonna help Wilder hit that right hand on him. And once he's hurt, he's not getting out of that. I don't feel like AJ's got the recovery skills to get out of that, regardless of what happened against Klitschko. I feel like Wilder's more of a killer in terms of finishing his opponents off. But yeah, that's me personally.
Okay, so let me take my turn. Hey, thank you, Dr. Blick. Let me take my turn in this. I think Blood has convinced me. I'm not gonna lie, man, because my thought was keep pushing for the fight, But somebody hit their mute button because I'm getting a big echo.
It might be me. Let me see.
Yeah. All right, it's gone. Thank you. Look, I think Blood's right because at the end of the day, man, if he can build if Deontay Wilder could build his reputation in the United States and he had enough support in the United States, he wouldn't need Anthony Joshua. Just because there's so much more money here, and eventually the end game for Eddie Hearn is to come to the United States. I mean, a bunch of videos I've gone over the numbers as far as what I could see them earning in the UK, and that's a small pond. The ocean is over here in Vegas, specifically at the T-Mobile Arena. And if Deontay Wilder just stays put, continue to do his work, and makes it readily apparent that he's ready to fight Anthony Joshua whenever Anthony Joshua's ready to step up and fight him, then Anthony Joshua's going to have to come to him. And even if that means Anthony Joshua has to beat Dillian Whyte, then do whatever he has to do and earn whatever money he wants to make. Anthony Joshua can make that money over the UK, but Eddie Hearn won't be. Because on a $54 million, it's $54 million. The whole ecosystem, and I've said this multiple videos, so forgive me if I'm being repetitive, but the whole economic ecosystem over in the UK is $54 million for the Vladimir Klitschko versus Anthony Joshua fight. That's smaller than Gennady Golovkin. That's smaller than Gennady Golovkin versus Canelo Alvarez by half. So if Deontay Wilder just stays where he is, eventually they're going to come to him. I don't want to see the Dillian Whyte fight just because, I'm being an asshole and I don't want to see Eddie Hearn get away with what he's trying to do. You know what I mean? But, Dominic Brazil, even Jarrell Miller, like take the fight against Jarrell Miller and say, hey, you know what? I want Jarrell Miller and just go beat him in New York City at Barclays Center and get New York on the side and build his name. And eventually Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn is going to have to come to him. That's one of the things that, if you guys remember there are some movies and some stuff that came out about Don King back in the 70s where Ali got sick of him, right? Because I don't know what happened. It made probably something related to some money where Muhammad Ali was like, look, I'm not fucking with you, Don King. And Don King was like, you know what? You want to fuck with me? Fine. I'm going to sign all of the heavyweights that you want to fight. And for you to get a fight, you're going to have to deal with me. So pretty much he just kind of did that thing where he knew eventually he set up a situation where Muhammad Ali had to come to him, had to fight him in order to get the top, in order to get the top fighters. He just signed everybody. And if Deontay Wilder understands, and we all understand, that the money really is in Vegas, where you can have, because their pay-per-view buys, I mean, they're paying 16 pounds, the equivalent of $22 for a pay-per-view fight. When we're paying 100, 90, 70, 80, 90, $100 for a pay-per-view fight. They're making $8 million or 8 million, 8 million pounds or $13 million in gates for the T-Mobile Arena. I mean, for packing 100,000 people or 90,000 people into the Wembley Stadium. Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin, which is not even that. Yeah, 19 pounds. That's what Terry Bolton said. 19 pounds. What's that? $30 tops. You have twice that, or almost four times as much as that for Canelo. The gate for Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin. And if they that's why I'm just monetarily, I think what Bullet Boxing is saying makes sense, and he's going to continue to grow. Because for my part, I'm going to continue to make videos. And that's why I was like, Blood, don't tell me that you suggesting I can't make ass juice videos. Because that's some shit. That shit been fun, dog. Anyway, that's my...
Definitely not. Nah, I wasn't saying that, bro.
Because I'm like, man, don't steal my fun, dog. Don't steal my fun. Go ahead.
I noticed too, man, that a lot of people are not giving Joshua any heat for this, but you know, man, that this guy is the only top heavyweight that's not enrolled in that VADA shit. When you go to his thing on Box Rec, all the rest of them guys would have that little thing right under their ranking. Look and see they have that VADA thing next to them. Anthony Joshua don't have that shit. So they've been talking about how he losing muscle and all of that. He might be coming off that shit.
Oh, he is. That's my take.
Hey, that's a good point. I never thought about that, really. Because I fuck around with him about that juice, but I never really, considered it. But
go look 7-8 on Box Rec. He's not enrolled on the actually it was like St. Cruisin who pointed it out, or Tony P. Somebody pointed it out. And I went and I checked, and it's true. Go look at Dillian Whyte. They'll say that he's enrolled in the VADA shit. Go look at Anthony Joshua. Right in the ranking, there's nothing there, man.
No, look at his face.
I gotta check that out.
Blood. All you got to do is look what he looks like going into this Joseph Parker fight. He looks drawn. He looks like he's about 15 pounds lighter than he was going into his last fight. I'm not gonna say whether that's juice or not, but I mean, I don't think. I mean, dude does not look anywhere near as big as he had in the past.
Is there VADA testing in this fight with Parker?
It's that Mexican meat.
Yeah. I don't even think that there's VADA testing in this fight with Parker.
No, I think there is. No, not VADA testing, but I think they're doing testing for this fight. But I'm not 100% sure on that though.
Yeah, UKADA. Craig Bowler just said Google UKADA. But I think that he's getting I mean, he's, it is what it is. General Africa. Let me move on to General Africa, man. I really appreciate y'all on the channel. I want to get General Africa's been waiting. General Africa, what's your thoughts, man? Last thoughts. Man. Wrap it up. Do you?
Man, just I'm looking for Wilder to hopefully maybe get like a 4-fight deal, just something just to get the wheels turning, man. I was just thinking, he did sue Povetkin's promoter. That might make it hard to make a fight. And Povetkin, his style probably fits Joshua. So and probably Pulev too, kind of a slow plunderer. So I hope that Wilder can just get to some of these dudes quick, because the freeze out is real, man. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, the truth. Hey, man, appreciate you, General Africa. The
no
truth.
Problem, man.
Oh, man, it's been a pleasure having you on the channel, man. I'm gonna wrap it up with Mr. Boxing today. And then we're going to bounce to 78 and we're going to wrap it up.
Oh, man, just a pleasure to be on. You know what I'm saying? Chopping it up with everybody on the panel. That's pretty much it, man. Another week of boxing. Let's get ready for this unification fight next week. And hopefully, after that fight next week, man, we get a better feel for what's going to happen or what's not going to happen. You know what I mean? But I'm about to leave it here, man. About to go catch some of these NCAA tournament games, man. But pleasure being on, man. Y'all be easy.
Hey, man, I appreciate you missing boxing today. 78 Rap, take it home for us, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate being on, man. Thanks for sending me the link. Much love to everybody who was on here. Much love to everybody in the chat. Much love to the super chat. Hey, y'all hit that like button before we get up out of here, man. Let's get them likes at least to 200, man. Y'all be stingy with the likes for no reason. And I want to say, too, that it's often said about Wilder, like, oh, well, he needs more promotion. America's not behind him, and for that's all true. Okay. Anthony Joshua is a star in his country. His country, for the most part, is behind him. Okay. I wish that America would get behind Deontay Wilder, not for the pettiness of patriotism or nothing like that, but so the fight can be bigger, so that the excuses can leave. Okay, I wish that the legendary American heavyweights like Mike Tyson and Holyfield and Riddick Bowe and these guys will come out and praise Deontay Wilder instead of looking for flaws, instead of getting angry with him about his technique and all this other shit. If you don't need to praise Joshua, he has a country behind him. Joshua gonna make his money, but Wilder does need that extra boost of support. He does need that cosign, and I wish guys like Floyd Mayweather Jr. would get off of AJ's nuts and boost the guy in your country. When Floyd Mayweather was whining and crying about people supporting Pacquiao, I fought in this country for the Olympics in this country, and they giving all their love to a foreigner. Well, what are you doing right now? That's what you're doing. You could give some love to Deontay Wilder and instruct your team to shut the fuck up when Wilder's fighting and stop running around talking about he fight like a girl and all this other shit. Okay, stop being jealous. Floyd Mayweather got a little man complex. Okay, but stop being jealous and put some support behind the American heavyweight champion. Deontay Wilder has had his title. He's been a champion longer than anyone else right now with the belt. Okay? He had his title longer than Joseph Parker. He had his title longer than Anthony Joshua. Okay? Nobody has came and take that WBC belt from Deontay Wilder. The rest of them belts, they belong to Klitschko. Fury took them. Fury was stripped. Fucking Charles Martin lost. AJ got it. Joseph Parker got one. All them belts get passed around like a $2 hole. Meanwhile, nobody has came to get Deontay Wilder's belt. So, with that being said, I hope the fight happens. I'm going to support Deontay Wilder. Win or lose, he's the type of heavyweight. He's the type of fighter that I support, that I like to watch, and I like to get behind. All right? And with AJ's conduct, the way he's moving, I'm not sure I can support him even if he beats Wilder just by the I mean, I like fighters. I don't like necessarily businessmen in the ring. That's all I gotta say.
Wow, man, dog. You just reminded. Who was that just talking?
Mr. Boxing.
Go ahead, man. Oh, shout out in the super chat to Mike Biggs Boxing. Brown got fixed. Laugh my ass off. Go ahead, Mr. Boxing.
7-8 damn near started a whole different discussion, but I do agree with what he said, and y'all tell me if y'all agree with this on y'all way out. But I think Wilder sometime, man, because he doesn't have the support, especially from the past great heavyweights. I think that because when he's asked about Mike Tyson and Joe Louis, he said, because guys asked him if he could have beat those guys, he said he would have knocked them out. Now that's just him being confident, and I expect that out of a fighter. But I think some of that is frustration too, man, from him not getting that support from these guys and them looking over him and talking about, man, I remember one time Tyson came, I did a video about it. Mike Tyson was saying he'd rather see Anthony Joshua fight fucking Mike Perez before Wilder. That shit was just crazy. So I think a lot of this is frustration. Confidence too, because you're supposed to be confident about you'll beat anybody. But I think a lot of it is frustration too, man. So I think these dudes need to get behind Wilder. He knocked people out, man. The dude come to, what did Wilder say? I want to swell your eye, make your lips quiver and all. He come to knock you out. Like, how can you not get behind him, man? That's just my piece on it.
Hey, man, seriously, man, 78, you reminded me, because I was going to say that before and I actually regret it, because I definitely wanted to end it on what you said, man. But I'm just going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to dip on that point for a second. When I did a video, when I first started the channel about Deontay Wilder, and I say this pretty much every video, I was not really together with Deontay Wilder, because when Deontay Wilder had that little bit of beef with Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson has said that Anthony Joshua was, the next dude in the heavyweight or whatever after the Klitschko fight. But after seeing how things have played out, Mike Tyson needs to cut that shit out. And he needs to stand, in my opinion, he needs to support Deontay Wilder, man. Because Deontay Wilder has done everything he needs to do in the ring to deserve much more respect than he's getting. And as much problems as Mike Tyson has had in his career, from, the bullshit that happened, it was a lot of people thought it was bullshit that put him in jail the first time, to people standing by him, buying his fights when the cat was already shot and getting knocked, getting beat up, biting people's ears off and shit like that. It is a shame that an American fighter like Derrick James, I don't know if you're familiar, you guys know who Derrick James are, right? Yeah. But Derrick James, who's Errol Spence Jr.'s his trainer said, look, I'm gonna go with the American guy. And Mike Tyson got to sign off by Ali, got to sign off by, Larry Holmes, everybody. He's an American fighter. And the fact that these dudes don't give him that support and would give that support, I mean, being a black dude is one thing about it. I mean, I do think we got that a lot in common for sure, certain. But just like 78 Sports TV said, man, these cats need to start standing behind Deontay Wilder. And and see what happens is, are they going to say something about the fact that Anthony Joshua threatened to freeze out Deontay Wilder? I could have listened to, of all the shit I've heard Anthony Joshua say, threatening more so than him not letting him in the ring, more so than people questioning the shit that he did in the ring and the people that he fought. When you threaten to freeze somebody out, that means you're going to start playing political games and use your influence to cut another dude off. And if these past heavyweight champions would stand behind a dude that would threaten to freeze out a black American heavyweight champion, then they need to be ashamed of themselves, man. Mike Tyson needs to be ashamed of himself. Lennox Lewis, I know he's British, but he needs to be ashamed of himself. If it was Larry Holmes, he needed to be ashamed of himself. If the great Muhammad Ali himself supported that shit, he should be ashamed of himself. Because that is the essence of racism. That's the essence of what people have struggled against. That's the essence of Guillermo Rigondeaux not being able to fight for year after year after year and being able to focus, being forced to fight a guy 2 weight classes above him. That's what fucking Mike McCallum that's what Aaron Pryor went through with Sugar. You should never, ever support that. And for this dude to have the audacity to come out and just flaunt the fact that it would even consider freezing out a heavyweight champion, that shit needs to be condemned and be condemned in the strongest possible terms. And once he said that, just like 78 Sports TV said, I was done with him. I was done. I don't give a fuck if he knocks Deontay Wilder out in the first round. Because he's now... Go ahead, 78.
Oh, my bad, bro. Go ahead.
No. I'm done. Because actually, I wanted you to finish. 78, man, I really support you. I really appreciate you, man. Allowing me to come on your network, the shit that you grew with the LDBC, along with Black Fight Fan TV and Coach Sheldon Harris. Just talking to you, man. I'm in blood boxing. I'm super appreciative. And actually, I want you to finish this live stream out, man. Just out of respect for all the shit you do in boxing, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, bro.
And let me put this here, too. Dante's Boxing Nation's got an award for journalism, maybe like earlier last year. That's the same shit you deserve, man. An award for the shit that you've been pushing there, man.
Can I say something really quickly?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I've said it in the comments as well to 78 and Blood Boxing. I really think that the LDBC should expand, because you're already taking over YouTube. I think you guys should be like the rival to Ring Magazine, the rival in terms of media, in terms of TV. I think that, the LDBC, the power that you guys sit on is immense. And I think that, you guys have really restored boxing back to its, to its heights. And I think you guys should really think about that.
No doubt, no doubt. We are going to be working on a lot of things this year to try to take the LDBC to another level this year for sure. And I just want to say too, as far as what Fanan was saying, it's like, yeah, the last straw with AJ was what he said. Because I always liked AJ, okay? I didn't have anything against him. I was just trying to hype the fight. That's all this was about in the beginning. We're trying to hype up the fight because I want this to be a big fight, a successful event between Wilder and Joshua. But then somewhere along the line, it got personal with certain fans. They just felt like, oh, you hating on AJ. It's never been about hating on AJ, right? It's about this guy who's a champion fighting this other guy who's a champion. It's not personal, but now it's personal. Now, with AJ saying the stuff he's saying, I don't like the guy no more. You know what I mean? I was holding off on it, man, but it's one thing after the other. He keeps saying things they're just questionable to me. It's like that's not the type of champion I want to represent. I mean, look, I respect what Floyd Mayweather did in the ring, right? But everybody on this panel know I don't necessarily like Floyd Mayweather, right? But I respect what he did in the ring. I respect what he, the money he made, and he didn't let boxing retire him, stuff like that. But he had a lot of character flaws as a fighter, as a man, as a champion that I didn't really appreciate. And I'm starting to see that kind of stuff from Anthony Joshua. Like you say, using the word freeze out. He said we'll freeze him out. He didn't say he said we'll freeze him out. As if there's some secret coalition or some shit that's been talking, him and Eddie, that's been talking about, oh, we can fight around Wilder. We can make all this money without fighting. I'm like, I'm not going to support that, man. I'm just not. And if you stall this guy out and fight him 2 years from now or something, or you see some weaknesses or he's slowing down or something, that's I don't respect that, man. And I don't want to hear nothing about. Somebody told me, well, Sugar Ray Leonard did it. Sugar Ray Leonard did it against Hagler, and I don't even want you to compare any little guys. This is the heavyweight division, right? This is the grown man division. I don't bring none of them little guys up here talking about what Sugar Ray Leonard did to Hagler. What Sugar Ray Leonard did to Hagler was some bitch ass shit too. That was some straight sucker shit. He invited this man into the ring and they retired on him. That was some sucker shit, right? And then he plotted and waited on the right time to fight him. Okay, so yeah, he won the fight, but it was everybody would agree it was still some bitch ass shit. You can say it was smart all you want. It was sucker shit though. At the end of the day, I'm not interested in seeing my heavyweight champion of the world doing nothing like that.
And anyway, man, if we freeze, he's talking about freezing out Wilder, but we need to freeze his ass out. He needs the American market, and if we stop presenting him as an A-side, that's all I'm saying. Stop presenting him as an A-side. Wilder did just as much. This guy has the same kind of guys on his resume. He's beat more guys than Anthony Joshua. He's closer to legacy achievement. He has the WBC belt, the green belt. Let's stop presenting AJ as an A-side and stop saying, what does Wilder need to do to get a fight with AJ? Let's change the narrative, son. That's all I'm saying. I mean, we could freeze his ass out, okay? We freeze him out. They need us. He's not popular over here now. We don't want to make him popular. We want to present him as a B-side and build Wilder as an A-side like we did for Larry Holmes.
I'm with it.
100%, man. So we're going to wrap this up. Much respect to everybody in the chat, man. Thank you everybody for showing up. Super chats. 78, thank you, sir, for allowing your forum to slip on the mind for a hot second. Blood Boxing, Dr. Blick, The Truth, Mr. Boxing Today, most definitely one of the most knowledgeable heavyweight channels. The Boxing Clinic and more is out of here, but we out. If there's anything anybody else wants to say before we cut out, let me know. Otherwise, I'm about to hit that bounce button. All right. So with that, we out. Thanks, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.